Our next presenter
Yep. Go
is
for it.
Robert Wood. And Robert has spent 45 years of his life helping others, sharing truth about soul purpose, doing intuitive reading, spiritual counseling, or readings and teaching. He's an experienced coach and a very good spiritual advisor. His coaching sessions always leave a positive impact on people. He specializes in providing guidance to people who want to channel their higher selves. He provides home-based services. He helps people in finding their true calling and knowing their real soul and spiritual relationships. Robert has dedicated all of his life to helping people spiritually and has helped so many people find peace in their lives. He helps those in need by intuitive reading on them. His website is spiritaura.com. Please join me in welcoming Robert Wood. Welcome, Robert.
Hello. Am I out here? Yay. I guess I'm looking at myself in two different pictures there. So I've got both my iPad and my computer. There we go. How do you guys see me on my computer?
Make sure that one is silent though, okay?
Is it both silent?
One is silent.
Yeah.
No, fine.
Is it coming through fine now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Loud and clear.
Good afternoon for most of you from Boulder, Colorado. It's starting to sunset, but I've got a beautiful sunset, and it's great to be here. And thanks, Sheri, for doing this. Sheri and I met, 3 years ago, and came down to her live performances and talked to her group and did readings, and it was such a pleasure to know Sheri, and she told me about doing this, so here I am. I haven't done a lot of Zoom presentations, but being myself, I'm just spontaneous. But I always like to open up a connection and talk with a little meditation. So who's ever here, just close your eyes for a moment as we're going to do a little invitation and invite in our higher spiritual self to guide this experience. So just take a deep breath with me and go within inside yourself and feel your center. Wherever you call your center is, find that place of center where the outside stimulus are shut down and there's just a sense of I am and a presence of being. My talk today is to know your soul, and to know your soul is to know your true self, the self that is created by you. There is an energy of your true self and your higher self that is beyond your human personality. So as you take just a deep breath, feel within the stillness of your mind that you invite an awareness, any awareness you might have of this true self. It's often been referred to as the soul. You that was created by the universe, God's self. And feel it, and then just be happy in this moment to be your true self, because who and what you are is your own creation. Take another deep breath and just relax into that experience. And whatever comes to you, whatever awareness, whatever insight comes to you, just be grateful for it. Just feel like it came to you and you're in touch with it. And it's an awareness of some gift, some message, some understanding. Just in this moment, some awareness, a color, a light, an image, and a feeling, something came to you. Some understanding as you found your center. And just be with it for a moment. And then just to accept it is to just do an ah. So just make the sound of ah. And then slowly come back to the room. You can look into your computer, stretch for a moment, and welcome back to the physical presence of yourself. That was a real nice introduction that they did for me. And yes, I'm can't believe it, but I've had 45 years of teaching about spirit. I had a spiritual awakening when I was 29 years old, and that caused me to get out of my physical body. It was a little traumatic because I was going through a relationship change, but I was thrown out of my body and saw my soul. And that was a profound change. And the real profoundness of it, several of you have probably had some relationship loss and felt the pain of losing somebody you deeply loved. Well, I was feeling a lot of pain for a month or so. But when I came out of that soul awakening, I didn't have any pain whatsoever over the loss of that relationship. And that kicked me on my spiritual path. I was very much a physical person, living a very physical life, drinking lots of beers, doing lots of partying, driving a Lincoln Continental, and making lots of money in real estate. I was a real estate broker from my family heritage. And then I dropped all that and left that and came down to Florida, actually, to St. Petersburg, Florida, and spend lots of time meditating on the beaches down there and started teaching spiritual classes. I was involved with Unity churches and started teaching there. And then from that, about 2 years of doing that, I came out here to Boulder, Colorado, and have been teaching and sharing and working ever since. I had a spiritual center for 9 years, and that was really fun teaching. And I taught the Course in Miracles and taught a lot of other spiritual classes. In my own natural self, I'm a Cancer person, and the Cancer people are very intuitive and sensitive. So I started developing my intuition. But as I kept working with my spirit, they wouldn't let me really do a lot of getting out in the world with my spiritual teachings. But then one year they said, okay, you're ready. And I went out to a spiritual expo in the East Coast. And I think it was, what was the show? It was in Philadelphia. And I taught there and it just had tremendous responses. And since then, I've been doing intuitive readings for people. The intuitive reading energy is, there's a little difference between what I call a psychic, and psychics have gifts of reading your personality, your mind, and your current life situations. A spiritual intuitive is someone that works a little bit in the higher dimensions of your soul. And so as a spiritual intuitive, I'm working a lot with your soul. And the difference between the soul understandings and the human life understandings is you're a human person and you develop your personality. The soul essence is the part of you that came into this dimension and started, but it was alive and existed before you came into this physical dimension. Many of you probably know that you were alive and existed before you came into this incarnation, and that is your soul. An easy way to look at it is when you look at your physical body, you think of yourself as a physical human being. And as you start to get into the physical body as a young baby, you start to feel the sense of a self-identity. And that is your personal self. And after about 3 or 4 years, that personal self forms its own container. And you start to identify when you're a really baby soul, you don't have as many boundaries and you can see into the spirit dimension. But as you start to develop your personality, you develop a little separation and you separate yourself as an individual. We call that the it or the ego. The it ego forms its own matrix of human experience, and the first container it gets identified with is its body, because you have to feed the body to keep it alive. And so the first container that you're aware of is your physical body. And then as you start to develop your own individual personality with all your human life experiences, you start developing a personality self. I also call that the lower mind. And within that mind self, also is a container. There is the emotional self or your emotional body. And the emotional body is made up of how you swing in your emotional self. You see many people have different types of emotions. And of course, today we see a lot of people with bipolar energies, people with different kind of emotional swings, from anger to sadness to depression to joy to all types of emotions. And the judgmental part of yourself contains your body of emotions. So I've just described 3 parts of yourself: your physical self, your mental self, and your emotional self. Well, there's another part of you, which is called your soul self, and it also exists in a container. If you're a little bit of a person that works in the scientific field, in the quantum fields, they have developed and proven the quark particle, that is particles that exist within and around the atom. And then they've also proven the helium particle, which is, and I probably didn't say that right, it's the God particle. They've scientifically proven that. And that is particles that contain a different type of field. So the quark particle, or your light body, is a container as well. And in that container holds all the different lives you've lived, all the different memories that you were able to retain and store. And so when I had my awakening, before I had my awakening, I had no connection at all to my soul. My soul had a connection to me, but I didn't have a connection to my soul. But when I had that awakening, my soul started to connect with me, and my soul self started to integrate into my personality. And then because that experience was so profound and I was so devoted to it, I went through a process of integrating my soul with my personality. And so I'm a unique individual personality self, which is quite fun and happy to be around. And I'm also a soul self, which has lived many, many lives and had many, many experiences of doing what I'm doing now. I've had many lives as being a spiritual teacher, and it just comes really natural. Many people say, well, how can you do what you do? And I tell them, because I've been doing this for thousands of lives. I was a guru, I was a spiritual shaman, I was in Greece doing many different past lives experiences. And so it's real easy for me to do it now. And so I carry a soul consciousness of being a spiritual teacher, and it just comes natural, and I'll do it for the rest of my life, and I'll probably do it for many lifetimes to come. Just because that's what I love to do. And so when you want to find your soul, you have to learn to go through your bodies. You have to learn to turn off your physical body. And you might say the world is a body too, because the world is a container. Another container that many people get in touch with is astrology. The planets hold a certain orbit, and a lot of that orbit energy is a container, which you study astrology, then you see that everything is kept in the containers of astrology. And then, of course, God is the ultimate container, and he holds everything, and everything is within God, spirit. If you want to know your soul, you have to get away from the world. You have to get away from your personality self and your emotions, and you have to go deeper into the light of your soul essence. This takes a lot of training and development and work on yourself, because most of us are focused in our outer physical world, spending lots of time in the physical world, spending lots of time with our own physical appearance and our physical thinking, and a lot of times very trapped in our own emotional thinking. So to get out of that, you have to spend time meditating. And the best way to learn to meditate is to learn to have a focus within yourself, in your chakras, and find which chakra that you particularly like the most. Some people are very naturally physical people, so they like to be in their root chakra or their first or second chakra. Some people are very kind of fairy and spiritual like, so they might want to hang out up into their third eye and crown chakra. And some people are very balanced and want to be physical and spiritual, so they operate a lot from their heart chakra. But you find the place in yourself. This is what you have to understand to know your soul. And then you find that center, and you learn to stay in that center. You learn to stay in that center for beginning periods of practice for 20 minutes. And ultimately, you can learn to stay in that center every day for a couple hours, 4 hours, 10 hours a day. One time on my spiritual path, I was guided to stay in my soul center for 12 hours a day for a year. That caused a big spiritual advancement that I made, and that was a commitment I made. I don't think that most people have to do that or should do that. That's not necessarily your path, but it was my path. But you do need to spend time knowing how to center yourself in something beyond your human self, your personality self, and your mental self. And then when you learn how to center there, that is where the opening starts to come. That is where the integration starts to happen, where you integrate between the physical being, the mental being, and then into the light being, and you start to receiving light transmissions. Light transmissions are seen through color, energy, light, vibrational energy, images, and memory. Your soul is just basically a collection of memory. Your personality is just a collection of your memories. Everything that is in the universe is a collection of memory. Memory is absolutely everything because it is the crystallization of thought, and all thought in the universe is stored. People that work with the Akashic records, they're often tapping into the universal soul bank of everybody's records because everything is recorded. Scientifically, they've proven that you can remember everything in your brain. Every single memory you've ever had is stored somewhere in your brain. You can't access it because you don't know how to go to that particular point and access it, but every single moment of your human life has been recorded and is still there. That's why you never have to worry about losing your mind, because if you start having Alzheimer's, dementia, it's still stored there. You don't have access to it, but it's still waiting there for you. Don't worry about any of your loved ones that have lost some of their memory, because it's still waiting for them. And when they pass from this world, they will remember everything that they have ever experienced it because it's in their soul. So the commitment to meditation, the commitment to know your soul is very important. And the one thing that you have to understand is that your human mind doesn't want you to understand your soul. It's doing everything to stop you from knowing your soul because it wants you to live in the physical dimension and it wants to keep its own identity. The more that you know your soul, then your personality self has to diminish a little bit and your soul self increases and expands. And the more your soul self integrates correctly and uses your personality self, then the more your higher soul self, which is really you, is leading your life and taking charge of your life. So there is something with your personal self surrendering and letting go. So your higher self, which is really you, is running your show. And that's daily, where you surrender and feel like your true self is in charge of your life. And it's quite magnificent because you personally don't have to figure out your life. You just have to allow your soul to come in and operate your life. And it's working on another dimension. So it's working with your guides and your spirit beings, and it's helping you live your life to the fullest. So it's really worthwhile to know your soul. It's really worthwhile to live in that higher dimension. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm just talking from my heart and my truth. Part of knowing your soul is to know your aura and to see your aura energy. Your aura is like everything, it's a vibration, and most vibration is recognized by the colors that you see. You can just think of the different colors that you know about and the colors that you like, and that reflects to your main soul colors. Most of us are individual of the 12 great rays, and we vibrate through our soul energy these different colors and rays, and that makes our soul individuality. My soul is very yellow, so I'm very joyous, I'm very happy, I'm a very loving person, and I'm very common sense, down to earth as well. So when I vibrate my yellow soul purpose, then I'm living from that soul essence of teaching about spiritual practicality, which I love to do. So when you get to know your soul, you get to know your primary color. Many people are blue souls here that we talk to because their blue soul is a master soul and a great teacher soul. Some people are healers, so they have green souls. So as you get to know the colors of your soul, which I help people do, then that helps you let your soul come in more, help you accept your soul, and then you do your soul purpose here. Doing your soul purpose on this planet is the greatest experience you can ever have. So I don't know if I can do questions and answers here, or if I can answer any questions you need. I'm supposed to be in my room number 11 after this and talk to some people. If you want to do a reading, I've got a special. Normally I do readings for $2 a minute. I'm doing it for $1 a minute here. And if you want to get a soul reading and talk to your guides, I do that channel. I've been doing that, and I love to help people see their soul, know their soul. And of course, ultimately, your purpose is to know your soul and to live your soul purpose. So can I answer questions for people? Is that possible?
You sure can, Robert. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful.
Good
Go
to
ahead.
see you. This is Alex.
Alex, yay! I love Alex.
How are you?
After I take a great shower, I love hugging you.
Oh.
That's a private joke.
Do we have any questions? Folks, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself.
I can chat more and just chat, or you can ask a question.
And then we will move him into his private room for you to have some time with him in number 11. And
Hi, Robert.
doing a door prize. So somebody has a question, go ahead.
Yeah, Robert. Boy, you gave a whole bunch of information that was really quick, and I was trying to follow it.
Yeah, I know I'm chit-chatting fast.
Yep. I love you talking about your colors yellow and that's your soul purpose, energy, essence where you vibrate from. Is that what you said, sort of, kind of?
Everybody has a primary soul color. The levels of you and your core essence don't change as much from lifetime to lifetime. Your core essences don't change from lifetime to lifetime. You keep enhancing it, developing it, and that's your individuality. And then the other different rays that come through your chakras are things that you develop. So as you integrate your soul into your human experience, these different rays and different energies come through, and that makes your soul individuality. So you find out what that is, and then you concentrate on that, and you intuit what that soul primary energy is, and then you let that come through you, and then that activates your soul purpose, and you do your life work here.
So it's a matter of sitting with and allowing that color to come through and
yes. And just follow where it takes you and invite it in. Lots today is talking about learning to receive. You know, we give a lot, but we also want to learn to receive. So the greater receiver you are, you're receiving your true self. And the more you allow yourself to receive and allow it to come in and invite it in, then that inviting and allowing to come in, it does come in, it does start operating for and through you, and you start listening and becoming a part of it yourself, which is really you. So you're not, it's not an alien, it's not a far thing, it's really you coming through this personality. Sometimes our personality is so dense, we don't let so dark, our personality, so at least mine was so dark and so dense, it couldn't come through until I had a big awakening, and then it started coming through. Once it comes through, it really starts to take over your life.
Did that correspond with putting down the beer?
What's that? Well, see, part of my soul loves to play Santa Claus. So for a number of years, I was playing Santa Claus. This year, I might not be able to play Santa Claus because of the COVID energies, but I love playing Santa Claus.
You're so cute. You thought I said beard. I was saying beer.
Oh, beer. Oh, beer. Well, beer is a substitute for your higher self. You can drink lots of beer but that's a substitute for your higher self, I think.
I have a question, Robert.
Yes.
What is the meaning of a silver soul?
A silver soul? A silver soul is one that wants to mirror and reflect and show how to live in the human personality in a better way. So it's a reflection of helping people see themselves or seeing parts of yourself that you may not want to look at. It's also a protective energy that helps protect you from dark forces that are trying to attack you. So you're often naturally a protector.
And Robert, to the point you made before, the line from the Moody Blues song, question, when you stop and think about it, you won't believe it's true, that all the love you've been giving has all been meant for you.
Yay, I love that. Thank you. It's so true. This boy knows how to share. What's that?
Will you tell us how to find you?
My phone number is on the little bio about me, and Spirit Aura is my website. And then I'm going to be in room 11. So come chat with me, just talk with you and share with you. But my website contact information is there, and I'm available 24/7. When anybody wants to work with me, I'm available because I love what I do and I'm here for you. So just feel happy to come chat with me in room number 11.
And now we're going to ask you, I'm sorry.
He loves what he does, and he's happy for you. Go see him. I'm putting it in the chat right now.
And his information is in the chat, yes.
Yeah, and I'm happy for you.
Wonderful.
And
Thank you.
Alan's
Robert.
coming up next at
Yay.
7 o'clock. Everybody, if you didn't get a chance to have an experience with Alan,
Robert gonna do a raffle.
yes, he is.
So why don't we do that?
So everybody put a number into the chat room. Robert's going to pick a number between 1 and 100, and he's giving away
God.
a palm reading session valued at $35. So put your numbers in. Robert, select a number, and we'll let everybody. And I'm sorry, presenters are not eligible to win the prize. So.
Oh,
And
come
it's
on.
actually, I think there's a typo. It's not $35, honestly.
It's $3,035. So
No,
it's,
I don't know what the value is, but there is a typo.
It's for you,
in
it's
there.
free. For you, it's free.
it's worth a lot. It's worth a lot. That's all.
It's worth what you think it is.
So we have a couple more seconds, folks. Put your numbers in, and he's going to pick a number, and we're going to pick the number closest to his.
No, he's an aura reader, palm reader. He taps into your soul. He does card readings. And he's an intuitive.
And I'm gonna be in Florida,
Yeah.
hanging out with
When
you
you coming?
sometime.
When are you coming down?
As soon as I can get free from this Boulder, Colorado energy.
Let me know if you want to do
Where in
it.
Florida is he coming?
I'm gonna be on the by Sheri in the Hollywood.
Maybe even in Sherry's house. Who knows?
Who knows?
Between
where-
me and Sheri, then, not far from me either.
Well, I
That's
do
great.
have.
Welcome.
I do
Who's
have a
saying
room
that?
to rent, and he is inquiring. So who knows?
Oh yeah,
Okie dokie. So what is the magic number, Robert?
11.
11. Does somebody have an
Teacher.
11? There it is. MS had an 11. Let's see if anybody else
Oh
had an
my
11. Hang on.
MS.
MS.
Yes.
MS is the winner. MS.
MS.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Yay.
MS, what you need to do is you need to join Robert in room number 11. He's going to be there momentarily, and give him your
Yep.
information so you can work it out together.
What do you mean, Julian?
I'm sorry, Robert. I'm so confused with the numbers flying in front of my eyes here.
No,
Yeah, you're
Robert,
doing
in room
great.
number 11.
no.
I'm off to 11.
So
See you in room 11.
join him right now if you want to continue the conversation. And then we're
Continue knowing.
Alan Pratt in room number 1 for an
Thank you, Sheri.
Thank you,
Robert.
darling.